Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Circular Course Reviews. Today we are playing one of my all-time favorite courses as part of our family vacation road trip across the southeast. We decided to make a stop in Nashville, Tennessee. One of my favorite courses of all time happens to be here, Cedar Hill Park. If you follow the Pro Tour at all, you will recognize this course. It has been a National Tour course, as well as a Silver Series, I believe, last year in 2021. So it's a great course, very fun, lots of different types of shots, some elevation. We'll try to give you a good idea of what this course looks like if you've never been here. I highly recommend, if you're in the Tennessee area, that you make a trip. Again, definitely one of my all-time favorites. One of the things I love about this course is the fact that it actually denotes exactly where the holes, where the pin is on the T sign, which makes having to search for it not much of a hassle. Hole 1, 279-foot par 3. Pretty straightforward. There is a much longer par 4 option on this hole when it's there, but looks like we're in the short, tucked basically straight ahead. The key on hole 1 in the short right position is you want to have something that's going to hug the left side of the fairway pretty tight with a slight right to left movement that then crashes left to right. The high forehand is the play, but you do have to be wary, of course, of these cedar trees, which give the course its name. They do grab just about anything, as you saw it did on my first shot there. Easy enough par in this short position. Hole 2, another par 3. Again, in the B position at 302 feet. You can't quite make it out on the video, so we'll fly this hole for you. But it's a pretty straightforward right to left hyzer shot. After approaching my drive off a 2, I realized there's actually a second basket in play. So I went ahead and used that shot for my approach to this long pin. You can see what makes this hole very difficult after the second is the fact that there's a lot of really tight fairways that come into play off the tee shot. That second shot is extremely difficult to execute, and in my opinion does require a little too much luck. Hole 3, 216-foot par 3. Semi-tight fairway. Gets a little tighter up towards the green. You can see the basket tucked over there to the left. Pretty straightforward little hyzer. This hole is nicknamed Seven Oaks Revisited. Seven Oaks is another course in town a lot of the locals tend to like. You can see, even though there is a fairway, it's kind of blind off the tee. And there's a big potential to hit just about anything on your way into the green. Hole 4, 321 foot par 3, dead straight ahead. You have 2 routes, pretty open at the start, and then you can either choose to go the straighter, tighter route on the left, or try to get something to skip late through the right gap. Hole 5, 230 foot par 3. This one goes uphill only slightly, but what really makes this hole difficult is the low ceiling. The backhand is in play, but requires a lot of touch and trust and get enough height on the disc. The ideal play to get the birdie look is actually a forehand that skips over to the right. We'll try both routes, see which one pays off. So these are where those drives ended up. Here's the forehand. This is the first backhand. And then the second backhand. Didn't get quite enough turn. Late tree kick with the forehand. But still a birdie look from the backhand. Hole 6, very tough, 275 foot par 3 as we're in the B position today. Wide open fairway for the first 150, and then takes a very sharp dog leg to the right, which goes downhill, maybe 10-15 feet to the green. Often very difficult to reach no matter what route you go. Backhand roll is probably the best play. I prefer going forehand. Hole 7, we were in the D position, 589 feet. This hole probably has the most dramatic elevation drop, going at least maybe 20-25 feet below your feet from the tee, maybe more. There's a pretty wide open fairway that narrows towards a gap at the end of the tree line. And then, based on my memory, the bucket's going to be to the left and slightly elevated. One of the things I like about this course, other than the fact that it's really pretty, is there's a lot of variety. You've got some uphill, some downhill, some left to right, some right to left, some tight, some open, some short, some long. Really tests a little bit of everything. The other thing about it is there are multiple pin positions on basically every hole. I'm not sure how frequently they change the positions these days, but I know it was pretty frequent when I used to live here several years ago. Hole 8, 324-foot par 3. You got a pretty tight gap to hit initially off the fairway. Really, it's so close to the tee pad, it shouldn't come into play too much. Just throw something nice and straight, let it fade to the left. Hole 9, we are in the C position. It looks like 305. Again, you have dual fairways, very tight, punishing gap straight ahead, or much harder to reach the green fairway to the left. Probably plays a little better with a backhand turnover than a forehand. We're going to try the tight gap. We'll also go ahead and throw the backhand route just to show it. It looks like the backhand gap is actually much easier to reach than I initially thought. This is where that forehand ended up. Pin high, but no real look at the basket. As we get to the halfway point, just wanted to give some quick thoughts on the course. Just as beautiful as I remember. A little bit easier. I've also gotten better in the 10 years since I last played this course. But still fun. I don't know if I would keep it on my top courses of all time list anymore. But if you're in the Nashville area, you have to play this course. Hole 10, we're in the A position, 293. Downhill, not nearly as severe as hole 7. You can actually see hole 7's pin there in the background. Hole 10's is actually just a bit shorter, and what looks like the old foundation of a house that used to be there. Hole 11, 248-foot par 3, straight uphill. Tight fairway if you try to go straight, but it's actually more of an S, which goes initially right to left, then back left to right. Pretty open green once you get all the way there. Hole 12, 279-foot par 3. Uphill quite a bit. This really plays more like 310, 315. Very tight, rough on either side of the fairway, but the middle is wide open. Just keep it straight. Under through my buzz on the first shot, so decided to go T-bird on the second. Parked. Hole 13 in the B position, 271. par 3. Kind of your standard hyzer. Things have definitely opened up quite a bit since the last time I played. You don't have any more of those branches hanging out on the right side. But if you do keep it too far to the right like I did, you will find yourself pinched a little bit on the left. Hole 14, 278 foot par 3 in the B position. No gimmicks here, simple hyzer, dead straight for the first 200 feet or so, and then tails over to the left. Another tap in birdie. Hole 15, 210 foot par 3 in the A position today. Pretty wide open fairway, moving left to right. You can just barely see the pin tucked behind those last set of trees and the bushes on the right. Straightforward forehand play. Hole 16, we're in the B position. 321 feet, pretty much straight ahead, wide open fairway. The only real problem is going super early on the right. Otherwise, you want to just crest the hill and hopefully you get lucky by the green. I didn't really fly that hole because it's pretty wide open, so no point in showing you much in the way of a fairway. But we will take a look and see what the green looks like. You can see what I mean in terms of you're kind of just throwing at the gap and hoping something gets lucky. A couple different pin placements. This is where we are today. You've got another shorter one right at the front of the gap, and there's actually a third placement down there towards the hill. This was actually my second shot, going with the putter pin high. I just forgot which gap the basket was at. This was the first shot. A little too much disc, but got through clean. Don't have an easy putt, but it's something. Hole 17, 364 foot par 3. This is the second big downhill shot that you have. Hole 7 on the front 9, of course, being the first. The basket is tucked ever so slightly to the left. So as I walk from 17's green to 18's tee pad, I'm going to highlight a couple of the other nice things that this course does. You probably noticed on a couple of shots, all the trash cans, most of them fill to the brim. I've not seen a single piece of trash on the actual course itself. Almost every tee has a trash can. They're also really nicely made benches to sit on basically every hole. The Music City Disc Golf Club is very well known for their commitment to this course and all the courses they have in the area. They got mad props for the Silver Series event that they put on, even though this course was deemed not quite difficult enough for the touring pros. The upkeep and the maintenance of the course, as well as the club involvement, were top notch. Finishing up here on hole 18, 2 baskets in play, a gold and a red. We've been playing the reds all day. So we're in the D position, 470 feet. Plays, I believe, as a par 4. It's basically dead straight. You can see the gold pin there. And it actually tails slight left to right into the woods. All right, that does it out here at Cedar Hill Disc Golf Course in Nashville, Tennessee. My former home for a year during my first year of medical training. Most of that year was very terrible, but my solace was coming out and playing this course as often as possible. Now, in retrospect, playing it, while it's still a very good course, and will definitely be challenging for those MA2, MA3, even low-level MA1 players. For MPO and for touring pros, pretty straightforward. Good course for practicing, a little bit of elevation, a little bit of everything. You really can throw just about any shot that you need to out here, except for maybe a max distance shot. Unless some of the pins are moved longer. Great variety, lots of options. If you're in the area, you have to give this one a play. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll continue to put out content as often as I have an opportunity to play. Thanks for watching.